Right, hi everybody, and welcome once again to the plot. Tonight I realised before starting strawberries again for another year, one of the most important things to me anyway is to make up a good juice, good rhubarb juice, and kill off any pests that's on the parent plants. So I like to get all this prepared prior to start taking my rooted cuttings. Or the runners, I should say, taking the runners from the plants, set them down in the new compost and get a nice new plant for free. But as I say, one of the main things I like to do before I start taking the cuttings is to get the plants nice and clean. And as I showed you in the last video, I've already been around them. I checked most of the runners, cut a lot of the secondary side shoots away, cut a lot of the shoots away that I'm not using. I've brought the plants down to about 6 runners, 6 young runners per plant, and that's all I like to take. You can't take more if you want, but as I say, that's what I like to take. Been quite a few comments on the Facebook page about it. Lisa Newton Stringer, hi Lisa, she posted a few plots and she's got strawberries in her garden. Well, Lisa, if you follow us, it's quite simple. I'll show you the procedure we use, and you can use exactly the same procedure whether your plants are in the ground or whether they're in pots. But I'll tell you now, once you get them out of the ground and get them into pots and into baskets, you'll never look back, or you'll never go back to the old way of growing them in the ground. A couple of years ago, well it's a few years ago now, I used to grow mine in furrows, like potatoes, like the potatoes, have them furrowed up. So it means you had plenty of air down the sides of them. The strawberries used to branch over, and then the old way, of course, was to pack straw underneath to keep the fruits nice and clean off the soil. But I found that way just encouraged slugs. It was just a breeding ground for slugs and for beetles that used to like to eat the strawberries. I know we like to have the birds have their little fling and get their little bits and pieces, but slugs is another thing. Once you go into pots and baskets, you never have that problem. So this is the way we do it, and this is day one, this is start one of the procedure. The rhubarb juice, I've got a pint of water in there, and I'm going to reduce it by half. That's just a little tip I picked up from the Hairy Bakers, if you watch, if you like the cookery channels. So this is the rhubarb, just the ordinary rhubarb leaves, and what I like to do is just scrunch it up by hand. I don't like to use any utensils, any knives for cutting up. Just rip it up by hand and pop it in the boiling water, pint of boiling water, reduce it by half, so you're going to left with about half a pint. I've got the strainer ready, just a very thin strainer, and inside the strainer I've got some old muslin cloth. So you get a nice clean liquid, and what you'll find is you're not clogging your spray up with it. You can put the spray on pretty high. You don't have to have a fine mist. You can put a spray on pretty high and just give the plants a good soaking. When you do make your rhubarb juice, as I say, don't forget to put your soapy water in it. Not soapy water, your soft soap. Put a couple of good drops. Once it cools down, a couple of good drops in the sprayer, and that will help it stick to the plants, or adhere to the plants, and keep it nice and clean. But anyway, if I can get the stick out of my way, I'll show you where I'm at the moment. Now, I've had this just in the boil for a couple of minutes. I can hear it rattling away there, so I'm just going to have a look. I'll turn that gas right down now. Now this has been going for about 10 minutes, and already it's wilted away, and that's what I like to see. The rhubarb will wilt right down. It'll just be like a green slime. But as I say, any old utensil to do. This is an old pan I've had for years. I keep in the garage, and it's great for jobs like this. I'm just going to let that boil for another 5 minutes. Keep the lid on it so keep some moisture in. I'm just going to let that boil for another 5 minutes, and then I'll strain it off. What you can do, if it's an old pan, you can just leave it in the pan, let it cool down by itself, so you're not burning yourself, and then tip it into your strainer when it's cool. It doesn't make any difference, but as I say, I like to get the job done all in one go. Don't forget your chamomile. I've got 1 tea bag left, so I'm going to have to go down to the health shop tomorrow to make sure I get some more. The chamomile I'll be using, because in my mix, as I say, I'll use a 3-2-1 mix for the runners. It'll be 1 part multi-purpose compost, 1 part my own compost out the garden, and a half a bucket of sharp sand. And that'll be a little bit perlite and a good handful of bone meal. Now the bone meal, it'll give you all your feed. You don't need that much feed, but it's a long-lasting, slow-release fertiliser, so I like to put it in most of my mixes. Your chamomile you mightn't have to use yourself if you're just using a multi-purpose compost. You can get away without using that, but you know me, I like to use chamomile for everything. It's a great protector from wounds and cuts, anything, and it's got some amazing properties in it. I like to use it on my seedlings and everything. And of course what I'll be doing with this is to give not the parent plants but the runners, as I peg the runners in, I'll give them a good spray with chamomile pig, and hopefully that'll give them any protection against, because with me using my own soil, there's bound to be some bugs, pests in amongst that soil that could damage their young rooting. So I like to give them a good drink of chamomile or a good spray of chamomile. But that's my way of doing it. You don't have to do it, but as I say, I like to use it. As I say, the rhubarb juice is for the parent plant only. I've been around, cleaned all the leaves off them, give the soil a bit shake up. And what you can do is once you get everything rooted, you can start giving your plants a good drink of nitrogen. And what that'll do, it'll help produce, you haven't got any fruits on it, so you don't have to give them potash. And I like to give them a couple of drinks of nitrogen, and it will just boost them, and it'll give the plant plenty of energy to start feeding them the young shoots. Okay, so I think that's part 1's done. Oh, that's lovely. That hairy biters will be proud of this. Now that's reduced by half. What I always do is wash my utensils out after I finish with them, and they go back in the garage out the way for another year. What I will be doing is making a garlic spray up. Now a garlic spray is a different thing altogether. A garlic spray is a preventive, and once my runners are rooted, once I know they've got a good root on them and I cut them away from the parent plants, before they go outside I'll give them a good feed, just a nice light potash, or a half and half, half potash and half nitrogen, to get them young plants working. But I'll also give them a good spray of garlic. I mix the garlic exactly the same way in a pint of water, a full clove, crush it down into the water, boil it down the same way, strain it off. Once again, bit of washing up liquid in it, and give them a good soaking. And what that does, it prevents any pests from going on it, because you know yourself, the smell of garlic, the taste of garlic, and it keeps a lot of bugs from going on the young plants and munching away at them. It will not kill any bugs, but it will certainly prevent them from going on it. So that's why I like to use it. Okay, so as I say, if you're doing it hot, make sure you wash your hands. You can't let it cool down overnight and then just pour it out the next morning. Just the same. So we're going to pour that through there, and as you can see, it's just a foul, slimy liquid. That's going to give me a good, once I've pushed that through, just watch your hands on this, because as I say, it's red hot, this stuff. As it cools down, I'll draw the 4 corners of the muslin cloth and give it a good squeezing out, and I should end up with a half a pint, by my reckoning, half a pint. As you see, it's a nice pale green juice. I'll show you that later without oh, just under half pint there now, so that's brilliant. It's just like pig soup. I'll let that cool down, but as I say, I'll draw them strings together. Once it does get cool enough, give it a good squeeze, and I'll get all that juice out. But once that juice is cold, that'll go into a litre spray. I know it's only half a pint, but that'll go into a litre spray. 2 or 3 good dollops of washing up liquid, and then topped up with warm water, just fresh water, up to the 1 litre, and then give your plants a good spray with that, and that'll kill everything off the top. just be very careful when you're using it, because remember, it is a poison, rhubarb leaves. I use it on quite a few of my products, or quite a few of my veg, but not when I'm fruiting. So this is the best time to use it now. There's no fruit on the plants. As I say, this is just for taking the cuttings. It's getting them nice and clean, killing any bugs off that's on them, and getting them prepped ready for taking your young cuttings. As I say, brassicas, I can use it on brassicas if you get an attack of whitefly or attack of green fly, any other bugs, make a rhubarb juice up, give them a spray of that, and it'll certainly shift them. I try not to use chemicals in the garden at all if I can get away with it. So this is just one of the remedies I'll use, and I'll, as I say, I'll get the plants a good spray and I'll start all this off next week. Towards the end of this week, I'm hoping to get back up the garden again, back on the plot, and what I'll do is I'll get cracking on the first lot of cuttings. If you go back on last year, Dean Hood mentioned it the other night. People asking about it. Hi Dean, thanks for pointing Lisa in the right direction. And it's a video I did right at the beginning of early last year, and it's cocktails and croissants and bugger the bugs, and that's what it's all about. It's buggering these bugs up, but it's doing it the friendly way. But just make sure, if you've got any spare leaves, if you've got any children around, do it while they're not, and get them to bed out the road, and then make your juice up. Because like I say, it is a poison. Just be very careful with it. But as you can see, that's drained away very nicely, and it's just a nice pea soup there. By the time that cools down in about an hour's time, I'll get that in my spray and just leave it until tomorrow morning. When it's nice and cool, I'll top it up with fresh water and a couple of good dollars of washing up liquid. That'll go into the spray, and then tomorrow afternoon, which is Thursday, tomorrow afternoon what I'll do is I'll get the strawberries that I'm going to start taking the runners off. I'll give the mother plants a good spray with that all around. It's nice and clean, and it means that they've got nothing to fight off. They can put all energy into making new plants, and that's the whole idea of it. So Lisa and Steve Ibert been asking a lot of questions about the strawberries, but this is just step one, and as I say, it's a very important step for me. Start off with nice clean plants, good soil, good compost, nice clean plants, and you shouldn't have any trouble getting some nice fresh runners for next year. But that's, as I say, that's step two, and we'll do that on Friday. Okay, so I'm just going to clear the mess up before the missus gets back in from work, and I'll end up with another bollocking. But what I'll definitely not be doing is doing the garlic spray in here. I done it last year, and I stunk the whole house out for about 3 days. So I was well and truly in the doghouse. Probably doing the garlic spray down in the garage, and I'll do that once the runners, there's a few weeks to go yet, so once the runners are all set in, there's a nice big root on them, we'll cut them away from the parent plant. I'll have a garlic spray ready then, and so I'll come back to the kitchen or the garage, and I'll show you how I go on with that. Or if you just check on one of my old posts, and I'll show you how I made the garlic spray. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. I'll add a couple more posts on at the end of this video, and hopefully I'll get it online on Saturday. Okay, so for the time being, I'll see you soon. Right, evening everybody. If I can get myself round on my perch, I'll be quite happy. Hoping I can get this video finished tonight. I've done a little bit of prepping, and I can see I can show you a little bit of how I like to go on. I've already done this tray. What I like to use for here, my mixture, it's a 3-2-1 mixture. You know, it's just multi-purpose compost. One of my own compost out of the bins, well saved. One sand and a bit of perlite in, so it's a nice free draining mixture. I like to put these in trays because you can water the trays from underneath. I'm a great believer in that. Not so much for the moment, because once the runners go into the top, the parents are still feeding the runners, so I'm not so worried about the watering. What I like to do is try and let them dry out a little bit, and once they do start rooting, I like the plants to stretch and get their own roots down into compost, so you get a nice filled pot in about a month's time, hopefully. I've done one tree already here. As I say, I went along with parent plants, and what I did there and yesterday, I gave them a good spray. I made the mix up. That's a rhubarb juice, and what I did, I measured half a pint. What I was left after I boiled it down, poured it in a litre spray, topped it up with fresh water, warm water, and a couple of good drops of washing up liquid. I like to use soft soap, sugar soap, which a couple of little drops of that, and you get a really good mixture. And like I say, what I did yesterday, I went right on the plants and gave them all a good, really good soaking on the soil, under the crowns, you know, where you can expect to get little beasties not hiding out. What you do want to do is you want to find out like a plant's suffering. You want your plant nice and fresh, all the beasties off it, so it can concentrate all its goodness into putting into the young plants, or piggybacking, like I like to call it, piggybacking the plants. Quite easy to do. What I normally do is I go along with parents, go along the rows, and I sort all the rows out. And I like to take at least 5 or 6 runners. Here's a prime example here from this pot here that I'll be doing later. There's 1, 2, 3. There's probably 3 there just on the one stem. What I like to do is I cut back to the heaviest, which is this guy here. He's got a really nice strong little piggyback here, so I'll cut him there. And this is like this one here. I've cut back to the first one, and there's a stem there. Just nip him back, and he's at the end. And all I like to use is either soft straws, which I've usually got there plenty lying around. I've just been cutting some up, either soft straws or white clips. Now the white clips, they might be a little bit too long for that pot, so what I'll do is I'll cut them clips down a little bit, just to make a little V, and then that parent plant here, they'll just bend them round the way they want to go. They can be awkward at times if they're a nice long runner, but just bend them down into your pots. Now Lisa Newton-Stringer has got strawberries in the garden. Well, there's no difference, Lisa, to this. You can do it exactly the same way. Get your pots filled, multi-purpose compost or whatever you're using. As I say, I like to use a little bit of soil, but the difference with mine, with using the soil, I like to cleanse it first. So what I do is I make a bit of chamomile tea up, you know me, and I always give the soil a really good spraying with the chamomile first, and that protects it. But if you're just using a multi-purpose compost, no problem. It should be clean. You get some quite good stuff from the retailers now, but that's what I like to do, mate. Give it a good soaking first of chamomile tea. As I say, the parent plants had a good wash with rhubarb juice, so that's nice and clean. Your pots are nice and clean. Get them in there. What you can do, Lisa, instead of using a big tray like that, there's just an ordinary meat tray that you get from the supermarket, and in there you'll get 3 or 4 pots quite easily. Stand them up, or 6 pots in there, and then you can put that alongside your plant in the garden and do exactly the same as what I've done here. Pull your runners out so that you get a good look at them. Trim the runners back to 1 plant or 1 piggyback on each stem. If you've only got a couple of stems and you've got 2 or 3 little plants on 1 stem, well, you can use them by all means. Just dib the first one in, leave the second one to the next pot, and dib that one in. But I just like to leave 1 on each stem, and that way, that's already there. That's perfect. That's 1 parent plant, and I've got 6 multi-purpose. So the idea of this being, I can shift it around from place to place. Once you start rooting, you'll go straight outside on the open border, on the open benches with plenty of fresh air. The only thing you've got to watch is if it rains very heavy and the tray starts getting waterlogged, so you'll have to tip the excess water out and just keep an eye on it that way. But this is the way I do mine. It's quite simple. The only thing I've got left to do now is to go around them all and give them a good, once the plants are in, once they're piggyback in, give them a good spraying of chamomile tea. That's going to keep them nice and clean. No problem. And there's 6 up there that I've done earlier. Give them a good spraying and all. And what I'll do is, and there is in the chamomile tea, there's some soft soap in there, and also, as you can see by that, it's sticking lovely to the plants, and that's what I want. So I've got them first ones away. Well chuffed with that, and what I'll do is I'll work my way along. Each day, I'll do each plant as it comes along. If I can get round here, I can show you them plants. I think I showed you them in the last video anyway, but I'll give you an idea, Lisa, of how to go on about it. You can put them directly into the soil if you want. The only difference with me, I stopped putting them into the soil years ago, because if you have any diseases in your soil, then your plants are going to pick them straight up. They don't really suffer much pest diseases or viruses. You can get a few viruses on the strawberries, so if you just take your time. Now that one there looks like it's been, yeah, it's had a snap there. It's been caught, and you can, so I'll straight away I'll get the scissors and I'll cut that one out, because there will be plenty more. So if we look at that one there, that's an absolute beauty. It's a fantastic one, that. So there's one, there's two, there's a double out there. I think I'll leave them two on because that's a nice little rooter. There's little side shoots there coming off, so nip them off. And of course there's a secondary one there, so I'll use the two. And what I'll do is I'll put that into a pot. On that tray there, there'll be 6 pots on there. I'll put that one in first. You see how they bend round, easy enough to bend round. That'll go into a pot, and then that'll double back over, and that'll go into a single pot on its own. So that'll be tomorrow night. There's another one, another example there. There's really two good ones in there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and where that one comes to the end, nip it off. So I've got 6 good cuttings on there, just on that one parent plant. Well, they'll go into 6 pots on there tomorrow night, and then I'll do exactly the same procedure as what I do with these. Get your little pots filled with soil, your compost. Leave about ½ inch from the top. Get your pegs, either little straws or hair clips, whatever you want to use, and just make sure it's just sitting on the compost. Just push it in gently. It's just sitting there. Keep an eye on it. I wouldn't worry too much about watering, because your parent plant is the one that's feeding them. If you keep it moist, if you just go around every other day and give them a light spraying, fresh water, clean water. Don't go into the greenhouse and start taking it out of the tank, because I always tell people in the warm weather, the breeding, what's going on in the tank is unbelievable. There's all your viruses, your bugs. There's all sorts of stuff breeding in the tanks. I know you think it's fresh water, but if you leave it for a few days and let the sun on it, pathogens and everything start growing on it. And of course that's green molds. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it out there and water your plants, and say pouring oil on the fire. Boof, away they go. They'll be covered in lichen, mosses and everything on the top, and that's what you don't want. You want to keep your plant nice and clean. So what I would do is to get a separate watering can, nice fresh out the tap, bring it in the greenhouse and bring it up to temperature. Do not put freezing cold water on them. Let it come up to temperature in your greenhouse or in your garden, if they're sheltered, and just water them with that. Nice fresh clean water. Even if it's fresh from the tap, it's got nothing in it, it's got nothing that's going to harm the composts. So, as I say, that's the way I like to do mine. So that's a dozen I've done in about 10 minutes. Quite an easy job to do. As I say, if you get your compost right, don't worry too much about the size of the pot, because what's going to happen is once this is full of root, in about a month's time, I'll be taking them out of here. I'll be cutting them away from the parent plant, taking them out of here, and I'll be putting them in a 9 centimetre pot, which is just smaller than that one there. It's a little bit. That's about an 11 or 12. So it'll be a little bit smaller than that. Difference being, I'll be making my own compost. I'll be doing a 3, a 2, and a 1. I'll be doing 3 of multi-purpose compost, 2 of my own compost, sieved, a bucket full of horse manure mixed in, half a bucket of good grit, sharp sand. Now the sharp sand, it's a must. You must have that in, because what I like to do is once I get them in the 9 centimetre pots, they'll all stand in these trays, and then you can water from down below. You don't have to water the tops at all. Get your water in the trays, let the plant soak it up, and you get a much stronger plant. As I say, in about a month's time, I'll be cutting these away from the parent plant. A nice big rooting system. The beauty of having little pots like this and clear pots, you can see what's going on underneath. If you've got black pots and you cannot see what's through them, you're going to be tipping them up and doing to see if there's anything in them, or see if they've rooted. With these, no problem. You'll see it's nicely rooted, and once that's done, you can sever them from the parent plant, and you get yourself a nice young strawberry plant for potting off. Once you go into these bigger pots, as I say, I'll use my compost, my own compost. Lovely stuff. I grow everything in it. I do all my cuttings and on potting off into this mixture. They'll sit in there until September at least, and they get a really good, nice big plant, nice and strong. It will try to send some young fruit and shoots out, flowers, cut them off. The last thing you need at the end of the year is flowers coming on them. Just keep them nice and trimmed, keep them cut down, nice strong plant, and then by September, early September, what I'll be doing, I'll be getting my baskets set up. Now if you don't want to use baskets, then you want to grow them in pots. It's exactly the same way. Just make sure you've got good drainage in your pots, because what you don't want to be doing is leaving your pots outside without any holes and getting flooded. The difference with my baskets is all my baskets are hung up in the bottom polytunnel, and I can control the water, I can control the feeding. I don't get no overflow, no wastage, and that's why I put bags into my baskets. But if you want to use pots, by all means do it. If you don't want to use baskets, you can have pots alongside your bench, quite easy, with your strawberries in. But I'll take you through all that in the next couple of weeks. We'll work our way through it. But this is how I like to do mine, Lisa. As I say, if you want to just do yours in the garden, without having to shift your mother plants, just get yourself a couple of little trays, stand your pots up with your compost in there, and you can put your runners in there. You can't put them in the soil. I used to do it years ago, but I found that the soil, you've always got diseases and bits and bobs, and of course they grow at different rates. So you haven't got a uniform. The beauty of this is once all these are rooted, they're uniform. They're all the same size plants. Whereas you put them in the garden, from there you go from runner to runner to runner. They've got different lengths of growing, different speeds of growing. One might be in a good bit of compost, one might be in the shade. And so what you'll end up with in a couple of weeks' time is all different size plants. This way, they're all uniform, all nice the same size. So I hope I've helped. It's a stage 1, by the way. As I say, the rhubarb juice is mainly for the parent plants. Get that a good soaking, soak your compost nice and clean. That means if that plant's clean, it's got no problems in supporting your young ones that you're taking off. Your young ones, they want a good dose of chamomile tea. Fantastic stuff. I use it all the time. Use it on my seedlings and everything. And just get them a good blasting with that. And it'll keep them nice and clean, keep all the bugs off them. And what we'll do once they're rooted, we'll go into using a garlic spray. Now the only thing I didn't show you on the last video was the garlic spray, how I made it, because I'm going to have to make it up here in the garden or down home in the garage. I'll get another bulk in. But that's for preventive. Once these are nicely rooted and cut from the parents and potted up, we'll get them a good soaking of garlic spray, and what that'll do, it'll stop any bugs, beetles, slugs coming on them and munching away on them. And they'll give them a much better chance of getting a nice big strong plant for September. So that's it, that's stage 2. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. As I say, if you like our channel, and if you want to subscribe to it, then subscribe by all means. And if you want to catch you on our Facebook page, well, get on over to our Facebook, which is Jeff Foreman, and it's Jeff Foreman on the plot. For now, I'm going to knock off, get myself way down home, have a bit bath, and hopefully I'll have this video online for tomorrow night for you. So get your gear out, get your compost made up, get your parent plant ready, all your gear to hand, and you shouldn't have any problem getting them rooted. And we'll keep you updated as the weeks go by on how they're growing. Okay, so for the time being, I'll see you all later. Bye for now.